So I've noticed that the word joy has been pretty prominent in the zeitgeist lately, and I think that that is in large part due to the success of Marie Kondo and her show on Netflix. And if you happen to not be familiar with Marie Kondo and the show on Netflix, she also has a book called The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. And just as a disclaimer, I did read the book before the Netflix series came out, so I feel like I'm a little ahead of the trend, but I did read the book and I have used that method for being in relationship with my things in a different way. So if you're not familiar, the idea that Marie Kondo uses is that we should only have things in our material things in our lives that bring us joy. And so it's not necessarily about getting rid of things, but it's about being mindful in our relationship with things so that we only have things that bring us joy in our lives, which leaves room to bring in more things that bring us joy, and it changes our relationship and appreciation with the things that we do have. So an example that I really liked when I was watching the show that I didn't get from the book was that somebody was having a hard time throwing away or donating a shirt that they had bought and never worn. And she explained to the person that even though she had never worn that shirt had taught her something. So when something is leaving our lives, or we're getting rid of a material possession or donating it to someone else, the idea is that we thank that thing for the lesson that it's taught us or the purpose that it served in our lives. And so in the example of this shirt that the person never wore, the idea was that it taught this person that they didn't like wearing that kind of shirt, and so they don't ever need to buy a shirt like that again. So they could thank the shirt for serving that purpose, and then they can donate it to somebody who could then use that shirt. And as I've been thinking about it more, I think it's so relevant to so many different parts of our lives, to our relationships, to our experiences, in addition to our possessions. So I was speaking with someone recently, and we were talking about the decision that they had made to make a really big, bold move across the country, and how they feel like it's not the right fit now that they are in that place, they've settled in, they're not finding that they're forming the relationships they want, and that it's just not a great fit for them. And so we had this conversation about how valuable the experience can be as they're deciding to kind of make the next step and move to the next place, how valuable this experience can be for them because of the variety of things that it has taught them. So I think it's a way of framing things that's a little more generous, it's a little more compassionate towards ourselves, and that honestly is realistic. It's not a pie in the sky kind of like find the silver lining in the thing, but can we hold the discomfort of something that didn't work out the way that we thought it would with what we learned about ourselves and about what we want for ourselves from an experience. So, I mean, an experience in my life when I started thinking about this was years ago when I was much younger. I moved across the country. I fell in love and I moved across the country, and we were together for a year or so, and the relationship didn't work out. And so in thinking about back on that relationship now and that experience, I'm able to look at it and see that I learned a lot of stuff from that experience. It was painful, and I also learned that I am a strong person and I can take care of myself, and I can be with pain and not have it destroy me, and in fact make me stronger. I also learned that I would rather take a risk and do something like that and figure out that it didn't work out than live my life wondering what would have happened if I had done it. And so I learned about my sense of adventure through that. So I think we have that opportunity on an ongoing basis to cultivate joy in our lives. When I think about that relationship and everything that went down and having to move there and then moving back and all the difficulties that went with that, is that joyful to me? I mean, I wouldn't say that. Is my being conscientious of my relationship with that experience and looking for meaningful things in that experience and lessons, does that grow the space in which I can experience joy now? Does it change the way that I choose relationships and treat myself and know myself in a way that expands joy in my life? Absolutely. So we have that experience, we have that choice for ourselves all the time. So this isn't to say that we should be walking around in a joyful state all the time, but I think it's a nice thing to think about on a day-to-day basis in any situation. Does this situation bring me joy? Does this experience, does this relationship bring me joy? If not, maybe look at it. Are there things in externally that we can change that could bring us more joy, and can we do that? And if not, are there ways that we can relate to ourselves and relate to the experience? Are there narratives we can be aware of that we either do or don't put energy into that can bring us more joy in any situation? So this is available to everyone at every time. This mindset of cultivating joy and being aware at all times if there's an opportunity to be more present and to bring more joy into our lives. So thanks for joining me today and starting this conversation on bringing more joy into our lives. If you enjoyed this video, you can give it a thumbs up. And if you want to get notifications when new videos come out each week, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until next time, take great care.